Hey everybody, Brad the Guitarist here. I've got someone else sitting in the captain's chair today, and he is going to drive for us. Scott Franklin, he is a member of a couple of local bands, and we've been buds now for a little bit. He helped me with my move one of the days, and one of the parts of that deal was he gets to bring one or two of his amps over, and we're going to go through them, and I'll just kind of show him what to do, and he's gonna man everything. So I'm pretty much hands off on this. And you'll get to kind of sit in and see what happens and see how bad he can fuck up his amp. Well, this is a Vox. What is this? Explain what you got here.
This is a Brian May signature. Brian May is my favorite guitar player. And this is modeled after the bass player for Queen built him an amplifier from, I think, a car stereo, essentially, or a car car speaker.
John Deacon did?
John Deacon, yeah.
I didn't know he was doing anything like that.
Yeah, he's an electronics major in college.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Maybe even got his master's, I can't remember.
Cool.
So this is actually called the Deaky amp, because that was his nickname, Deaky, or is his nickname.
Right.
And so I pulled this, sat it on top of an amplifier and walked too far away, and it screwed up the input jack, so that's why it doesn't work.
Okay.
It hasn't worked for almost a decade.
So it should be a simple fix. We're just looking at an input jack fix on this. Let's get a closer look. Actually, you're way the hell over there, so get over here. Oh, get over here. Okay, so here is the little Vox, and again, like he said, this is a Brian May. Would you say it was a Dinky?
Deaky. John Deacon.
Okay.
Deaky.
Does it have a model number?
VBM1, I think. Here's actually the back.
Is that a 6-inch speed? No, that's a 8.
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody steal the serial number and go report it as stolen, and and you know exactly where to find it. It's a VBM1 Brian May Special, Korean made. Let's see. Our input jack is over here on this side. We'll have to pull this board because of the way it's set, and there's no window or anything on the bottom. There should be a couple screws on the bottom, but actually first go ahead and pull the knobs and loosen your nuts and stuff there.
There we go.
Yeah, we're good.
That's cool.
Yep. You might just we'll get those nuts off, and this one. No. Oh. Don't do it sideways because you're more prone to scratching it.
Okay.
Yeah, come down on it, and then there you go. Now do it finger tight from there.
From here. Okay.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just loosen it with that one little twist, and usually you're fine on most things. People get pissed at me sometimes. Over the past couple videos, I've gotten some comments about it. People are like, "Why don't you be more professional and get a socket?" I was like, "Well, I've got sockets, but they're kind of. Well, I could show you where my sockets are. They're kind of in a pile, and I don't know, what size is what. And by the time I get a socket out, I probably could have already gotten all 3 of those off of there and the whole chassis,
Right.
So it's just a time thing.
So that's that, and then
yeah, just loosen all those.
Okay.
Those might even just come off with your fingers. A lot of times they'll just come right off.
Okay.
And if they, see, they feel tight at first, but I usually just use my fingers if I can on these.
I'm a sissy, so
There you go. And miraculously, not a single scratch. Look at that. See that, guys? No scratches.
it's called finesse.
Yep, that's just finesse. That's not, the right tool is fine, but you have to know how to use the wrong tool as well. I've been using it for 40 years. So how you liking it so far?
This is awesome.
Is it all you thought it would be?
Yes.
It's so boring.
How does that work? What is that expression?
This, I believe this might be...
Oh yeah, that's ganked as fuck. With any luck, we can salvage that part. Let's go ahead. There should be some screws on the bottom, I'm guessing. just completely broken off from this lead here, and that's the only thing really holding it in too. So I think what we're going to have to do though is pull this completely off and replace it with a wired jack. All right, change of plan. I actually found this in my stash, and it's the exact part that is going to come off here. So we're just going to go with this one, and as long as he doesn't jerk it out of the socket like last time, it should be fine. Okay, that's a solder sucker, and we could use that. I'll show you how it works. This pump right here, you pump it up, and then what you do is when you heat up these bits right here, I'll show you. And usually you would put a little solder on here first on your tip, but essentially what you do is you heat up what's there, and then you put this down on it, and then that, see the solder that came out? It sucks up solder until the pads are free of solder. I'll show you the braid style. But yes, practice on that one, and just stick it down on top of it as long as it takes to get solder to start coming up there. Okay.
That's hot.
Well, here, let me show you. Okay, that wasn't bad, but it usually helps if you kind of just move things around a little bit, like move the wick around. I actually think that one's already pretty much off, but it just, there we go. Yeah, it just needed a little push to the side. There's nothing left on it.
Okay.
Try the next one over, but when you get the braid on there, move it around while it's on the pad just a little bit, so it you know what I'm saying, so it soaks up more. But see how heavy that iron is? It's really not designed to be used on these boards. And I should have dug out my little one, but I've been using this big one for a while now. You don't want to put it on the tip. You want to put it down. There you go, down in there. See how it's all seeping up?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to pull it off before the solder
Is it
solidifies. I don't think so. Did we? Nope.
To do it again?
Yeah, you still got solder there. Try to, yeah. Okay, it's there. See how it loosened up on you? And you could actually feel it moving around?
Yeah.
And actually, since that's the only thing holding this, you should be able to actually, when that's in this, actually if you just melt that, that'll come off. Go ahead and just forget this for a second and stick your soldering iron on there, because these other two are broken. Okay. So if you lift it up a little bit and then heat it and then push that pin down, the whole thing should fall out.
Okay.
Just, yeah, let it heat on there for a second. And push that pin down in there with your iron. And a lot of times you can just get that to fall right out. There you go.
Still hung up on.
No, you're fine. Just how that. Yep.
Oh,
there it is.
okay.
There it went.
Okay.
One thing you don't ever want to do that you just did, and I know I'm giving you more information really than you can process at one time here. But one thing you don't want to do, like if you're using the wick, and you take your iron off, and then you let the wick solidify to the board, don't just yank it off, because you'll yank the pad off with it.
Okay.
But see how you got a little bit of wire there from your, you have to make sure you get all of that off.
Okay.
Well, no, it has to be melted.
Oh.
So you get your iron.
And
actually, before you do that, here I'm actually teaching you wrongly here. Here's some solder over here.
It just fell out.
What fell out?
They did.
The piece?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a hole there?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
But I gotta get that.
You still got to get that other piece. There's a little tiny. Here, I'll show you. Look here. I'll show you on one that you've already done.
Okay.
Basically what you want to do first. Hand me the solder that's over there. Not the whole thing. Yeah, just the lead. Okay. Here's what I've done with my solder. I've got it on a little spool over here. It's kind of screwed to the desk, so I just pull it whenever I need it. But what you want to do is just, this is called pre-tinning the tip of your soldering iron. And what it does is it actually increases the surface area of the heat. So the heat transfers a hell of a lot quicker. So you press it on there and then suck. But that barely didn't get anything. Yeah, see, this really isn't the best. Well, see how much solder came out there?
Yeah.
Shit ton of it, actually. But I'm also sucking the solder because this whole ground bus is soldered, see? So it's like it's actually sucking some of the solder from beside it. Okay, there we go. See, I just dragged a little bit of it back and now we can see a hole. So that's really all you need. You just need the hole. Yeah, the braid gets hot. Just try to suck as much of it as you can with the braid. And yeah, press down and try to get that pin out of there. And if that's not working, you might go to the sucker on that, because that will suck around the pin and hopefully just make it fall out. It's harder than it looks, isn't it?
Yeah.
You might be able to grab it from the other side with your pliers. Yeah, there you go. Now you can heat it and pull it right out. There you go.
There it is. Ooh.
And you got a hole, so you're good.
Sweet.
Awesome. Do you feel a little more confident, or?
No, I feel dumber.
You feel dumber? Yeah.
You don't know anything.
Yeah. We got to take the existing wires off of there. They've got some wires. This was used for something before. Basically, you just want to heat up these that have anything on them and take those off. And try not to breathe in those fumes. Just let them go up. There's a lot of debate about what the fumes are composed of. A lot of people think that it's vaporized lead, but lead doesn't vaporize until it actually boils. So the smoke that's going up is mostly all the rosin that's in the solder. Yeah, perfect. Looks good. You just want to make sure that that's you got all of it. If there's any extra wires, just kind of inspect it. You're fine. It looks fine from here, I think. Yeah, that one looks real good.
I had too much coffee before I came over here.
I had too much methamphetamines. There you go.
I fooled it.
Yeah, see, if you had a little bit more solder on your iron, that would melt right away. Okay. First, clean it. Clean your tip. And what I use to clean my tip, and I don't think I've even ever shown anybody this, what that is a battery terminal cleaner. So instead of a sponge, I actually use a battery terminal cleaner, and it does a pretty good job.
Huh.
The more you know. Yeah, well. There's probably real techs are like scoffing at us right now. Scoffing at me especially. A battery terminal cleaner. What? Everyone knows that you're supposed to use a sponge. What? You can't afford a sponge? See how quick that was?
Yeah.
Makes a difference. And actually, look what we did. We used the wrong part.
The wrong part.
Yeah, I don't know how we did it. Did we pull multiple ones out? I guess we did. Because I had this one, and then I had this one. So you get a double learning lesson here. Hang on.
Right.
Make it stop!
Alright, so we fixed what we set out to fix. That is that jack, and it is in there. And it will work. It's not the ideal jack, that's the only thing, because this jack has standoffs. It has a little plastic, you can see right there those little plastic standoffs. They kind of keep it at the right distance. This one we kind of just had to fake it and sort of, I mean, it will work. But then in the process of fixing this, we broke this, and it's done for. You can see the traces are broken off, and it's 50K, and I don't have a 50K in my stash right now. I don't have one in stock, so I will have to finish this up another day. So for now, at least, it's a big fat failure. So how does it feel to be a failure?
I'm used to it.
All right, so it's been a long time. Long story short, it took a long time for these potentiometers to come in. I ordered them. I just moved, so they went to my old address, so I had to reorder them, and now we're back. We're gonna let him go ahead and finish this up now. So Scott, I've got a new soldering station, so you don't have to mess with that. I don't remember what soldering iron we used last time, but yeah, but that one will be a lot easier.
So this goes right there.
Yeah, it just pops right down in there.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. You want to put a little bit of solder on the tip of your soldering iron first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's called pre-tinning your soldering iron.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll touch your soldering iron to the joint first and heat up the joint slightly.
There?
Yep, touch it on there, and then come through with your solder. Don't keep your solder on it after your iron. There you go. That's not bad. You put your iron on. Put your iron on here. Let me show you with one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you with the middle one, and I'll let you finish up. Okay, so you want to put your iron right there on the pad. You want to get your iron kind of on the pad and on the lead there, and you'll see it melt pretty much immediately. But then put the solder on there. Release the solder first, and then release your iron. See how dirty that was. See how all the black stuff. You just kind of wipe that on your sponge, and that'll get rid of that. Cool. Let's see. Now you want to make sure that the solder goes all the way around. It looks like you're missing a little bit up here on top, and then and reflow that over here on this one too. Yeah, there you go. That looks good. Cool. That that's the soldering iron.
There we go.
And actually, that's a good point. That's one little complaint I have with this soldering station, because it cycles on and off. And this is for you guys at home, because that thing cycles on and off. If you're working on something, it comes through as a wee noise when you're yeah. Yo. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not, but let's see if I can get you close enough. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sure you hear that. And if you actually look at the LED over there on the unit, the noise corresponds with that. It took me a while to figure that out, because I was working on someone else's amp and I was like, what is this damn noise? Why does it keep doing this? Yeah, I thought it was that amp, but no, I looked over and I just happened to be daydreaming about what it could be, and that light was just going bee. So I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I think we've got it, pretty much. We might as well plug a guitar in. All right, how long has it been since this thing has been fired up?
Years.
10 years.
10 years.
10 years, okay.
Yep.
Well, cool. We'll get to hear it. thing we need to do. This potentiometer that we ordered is a little bit taller than the other two, so I'm going to cut this down a little bit with a Dremel tool. There we go.